Cross-currency rates. Most currencies in the world are quoted against the USD. Most currencies. Okay. Because of historical issues, right from the Second World War, from that time when the gold standard was eliminated, we had to have a currency which was acceptable to all, which did not face the problems that the GBP that time was the heart of the Second World War. That is the British pound, the German mark, etc., was completely crumbled by the Second World War. So USD became like a rising star, and so USD is now is not the strongest currency in the world. Make no mistake, I never said that. I said that it is the most widely acceptable currency in the world. Okay. And everybody loves the USD. Wherever you go in the world, even the small kirana shops and the small tiny little outlets of selling tourist goods, they all like USD. So USD is most prominent, most dominant, most widely acceptable currency in the world, and it is easily convertible. In fact, the old joke is there are more dollars outside the US than there are in the US. I think that pretty much continues now also. The USD is, since USD is quoted against other currencies, since all currencies are quoted against the USD, there has to be a way that we have to derive our currency against any other currency. For example, if we are Indian company and we are exporting 90% of our goods to the Eurozone, then we need to know the Euro INR rate. That's the EUR INR rate. We don't want to know the USD INR rate. We want to, because our calculation is on the basis of EUR INR. Therefore, how do we calculate and how do we derive the USD INR is given in the market, USD EUR is given in the market. Same, you all told me 0.86, right? So I think I use the same calculation and put in that number. Therefore, how will we find out the EUR INR rate? Okay, this is very important. So 90% of global trade, while though it is benchmarked against the USD, the currency exposure is for the domestic entity, not so much for the international entity. Let's say, for example, in the USD INR becomes from 89.55 to 92, let us say, just the first leg of the transaction, then the Indian importer is going to suffer, right? The US exporter is not going to benefit because the rupee depreciated by 2.5 rupees. In fact, it makes absolutely no foreign exchange risk sense to him to be able to do that. So the USD INR, in any currency, only one of the counterparties to the trade have a foreign exchange risk. Okay. The second leg is USD EUR. Now, the USD EUR is the largest largest traded currency pair in the world. Okay. Even in Indian markets, even though INR is the domestic currency and INR is the most traded currency in India, like 99% of our transactions on a daily basis are in INR. USD Euro is the single largest currency pair traded in Indian foreign exchange markets. That's because of the sheer volume of trade that covers the global markets. Okay. So I have chosen one currency pair which is localized to us and one currency pair which is the largest traded currency pair in the world. And I'm going to ask you, how can we derive the EUR/INR rate? How much time do you think you need to calculate this? How do we derive this cross-currency rate? Ready?
Guys, let's start. Oh, someone has already posted. Smart people.
Yeah. Very good. Excellent. Very nice. Very good. Some of you all are using the help of Google. Some of you are using the help of your calculator on your mobile. Ah, Shrestha, thank you so much. Very nice. Yes. Most of you all have got the numbers right. That's right, Ritesh and Chahat. Very good. Okay. Shrestha has also given us the explanation of the formula. It's very simple how you derive the euro INR rate. Okay. It's like what we studied cross multiplication way back in standard fifth or standard fourth, when we have to cross multiply the currency if it is quoted on the same side of the transaction leg. Okay.
Finally, somewhere we can use maths,
Yes.
even though I hated it.
No, no. Math, you can hate math, but math will never leave you. See, that is the
Absolutely.
beauty of math. We hate math, but math will not hate us back. They will keep follow. It will keep following us for every point of time. True.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now FX market quotations are different again. So we saw first different base currency versus quoted currency. Then we saw the second difference, which is the cross currency. Now we're looking at the third different way. Interbank FX markets are quoted in millions of dollars. One lot size is million of dollars. Okay. Over here we find that the quotation is given as Euro USD. That's how they speak, okay? Is equal to 1.1725. There is a hyphen here, okay? This is very funny. Don't look at it. Here it is a front slash, here it is a hyphen. Don't ask me. For 30 years, I've been battling different bosses and trying to get them to explain to me why the quotations and the notations are different, but nobody has an answer. And they just say, it's okay, Sushila. Don't ask so many questions. All right. So I have to also live with it. And I'm also going to tell you the same thing. Don't ask so many questions. There are two prices over here. You can see 1.1725 dash 1.1735. What does this mean? This means the bid price. They will buy the currency at 1.1725. What currency will they buy at 1.1725? Euro. Always think base. I just told you that few slides ago. Do not think of the quoted currency at all. Ignore it completely. Only when you have to give the final answer, you come back to it. Think base. So over here, the person who's giving you this two-way price is going to buy euro at 1.1725. Very good. 1.1725. And they're going to sell what? They will sell ask price. Bid ask price is 1.1735. Is this clear? So
I,
yeah.
ma'am, I'm really sorry. I just want to add one thing here,
Sure. No
because
problem. Go ahead.
even I used to get confused when I studied this for the first time. So bid is like cheaper and ask is like expensive.
Yes.
How can we buy it cheaper and how can we sell it expensive? Because whenever we go to a mobile shop, we want to buy a mobile, they always sell us expensive. And when we give them back, they buy cheaper. So guys, this is from the institution point of view,
Yes.
not from a client point of view.
Exactly.
Or we can say it's always from the vendor perspective who is projecting the price.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Manish ji. Thank you, Sayed ji, for your comments. Very valuable. So this person who's telling you like he's buying at 1.1725 and is willing to sell at 1.1735 is a market maker, price maker. They make the price. Okay. So they are willing to buy the euro at 1.1725 and they're willing to sell the euro at 1.1735. Is this clear? So who is it giving the price? The price maker. Second, what is it that they're trading in? Euro. They're willing to buy the EUR at 1.1725 and they're willing to sell the EUR at 1.1735. Okay,